Imagine growing up with a father who's always drunk, yet managing to build an $8 trillion empire. Sounds unbelievable, right? John Clifton Bogle decided he didn't want to live in poverty forever, so he took his future into his own hands. This is the story of the Vanguard Empire, born from the dream of a determined child. It's a tale of patience, perseverance, and sheer hard work. As John Bogle himself said, "Don't look for the needle in the haystack, just buy the haystack." John Clifton Bogle came from a wealthy background. His father, William Yates Bogle, was a decorated World War I pilot who worked at American Can during the prosperous 1920s. However, the stock market crash and the ensuing Great Depression devastated their finances, and William turned to alcohol to cope with his losses. John and his brother David started working to support their family. Despite these hardships, Bogle excelled academically. He initially attended Manasquan High School before transferring to Blair Academy on a work scholarship, where he graduated cum laude. This achievement earned him a scholarship to Princeton, where he studied economics, investment, and mutual funds. Bogle graduated magna cum laude in 1951 and was soon hired by the Wellington Fund, impressing founder Walter L. Morgan. After 15 years, Bogle became CEO. However, Bogle's career hit a major setback when he approved a merger that led to significant losses for the Wellington Fund. He admitted it was an immature decision and emphasized the importance of sticking to a good plan rather than seeking a perfect one. The companies involved in the merger lost 65% of their revenue shortly after, and Bogle was blamed and subsequently fired. This setback, however, set the stage for his future success with Vanguard. This jolt in Bogle's career was a turning point. His idea was to create a company that would manage the funds of its clients based solely on the interests of the clients. Bogle decided to take matters into his own hands. The Wellington Company was divided into two branches, Wellington Management and the Wellington Fund. Bogle had been fired by Wellington Management, but he was still in charge of the fund. So he went to the company's directors and asked them to let him run the Wellington Fund with a completely different administration. After 6 months of struggle, unpleasantness, close calls, ups and downs, laughter, and tears, the directors finally voted to proceed. In an interview with Invitopia, Bogle explained that the directors agreed to give him the fund but refused to let him use the Wellington name. Bogle came up with the name Vanguard and made the strategic decision to start an index fund. He established the Vanguard Group of Investment in 1974, creating an index fund that mimicked the stock market but focused on stocks more likely to profit. When someone invests in an index, their money goes to all companies in that index, increasing the chances of profit. Bogle applied this principle to mutual funds. For instance, the S&P 500 index tracks the performance of 500 companies, providing a standard market index. Warren Buffett noted that S&P low-cost funds are especially profitable during tough financial times. While company performance can vary, overall profit generally outweighs losses. The S&P 500 has averaged a 10% annual return, exemplifying investment versus speculation. Bogle opposed speculation, where people chase high-profit stocks, advocating for steady, low-risk investments. Bogle called his approach the Vanguard experiment, creating an index fund that didn't require active management. This eliminated the need for expensive brokers to market the funds, allowing Bogle to market directly to investors, defying industry norms. This innovative strategy lets people invest in Vanguard without broker interference. Notably, Bogle returned cost savings to Vanguard investors instead of keeping the money for himself. This philanthropic approach has made Vanguard one of the most respected and ethical investment companies to this day. The company kept growing as more and more investors joined the Vanguard group. Bogle became an inspiration and a story of success. After witnessing the success of John Bogle's index fund, investment legends like Warren Buffett praised him for his ingenuity. Buffett even advised his wife to invest in index funds after his death. Paul Samuelson ranked Bogle's invention alongside the wheel, the alphabet, and the Gutenberg printing press. Bogle didn't stop with a simple index fund. He aimed higher. He partnered with PrimeCap, an investment management company in Pasadena, California, and launched the Vanguard PrimeCap Fund in November 1984. This long-term growth equity fund outperformed benchmarks within a few years. By 2015, a $10,000 investment in the fund had an annual return of 13.7%. PrimeCap became Vanguard's second largest ally after Wellington Management, propelling Vanguard into a multi-million-dollar organization. Bogle faced challenges head-on, both financial and physical. He had his first heart attack at 31 and was fired from Wellington at 35. His heart condition worsened over time, culminating in a collapse at Reading Terminal after a board meeting at PSFS Bank. I toppled over and my hat fell off. I tried to tell the security guard that I had to get to the 2:30 train to Pauli, but he told me to lie still until the rescue squad arrived, he recalled. After 6 heart attacks, they recommended a heart transplant. At 66, Bogle was past the ideal age for the procedure, but lived long enough to get one. He spent 128 days on an IV waiting for a new heart, emphasizing the fairness of the donor list. After some time, Bogle's heart condition worsened again in the early 1990s, and after struggling for 6 years, he handed over Vanguard's leadership to John J. Brennan in 1996. Following his heart surgery, Bogle felt well enough to return, but took on the role of senior chairman instead of CEO. Bogle and Brennan had administrative disagreements, leading Bogle to step back permanently in 1999. John Bogle was a man of many honors, and most of those he received during his lifetime. Bogle died on January 16, 2019, in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, from esophageal cancer, but had long-term heart issues. He was survived by his wife, children, and grandchildren. Many people paid their respect to him, as it signified the end of an era of his life. The Vanguard Group, which he has contributed a lot in building, continues to disseminate his ideas to people across the globe. How do you feel about a millionaire with a golden heart? Comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to this channel for more content.